Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Mukesh. Good to see you.
Yeah, wonderful to see you after a long time. Yeah, we have known each other for almost 2 decades, and we both work or share the joy of traveling and teaching, which I call like sharing the joy of being.
Yeah,
So, teaching is like sharing the joy of being together on this planet.
yes.
And so I was wondering, just spontaneously have a deep conversation from the heart.
Hmm.
Whatever flows, we share it.
Yes.
And so please, Elizabeth, what would you like to share
Hmm. I
today?
would like to share something about listening. Um, I think listening is one of the core things of my teaching, and so many people are busy what they can do, and if they do the right thing, and how they participate in the world. But before that, there would be very wonderful if there would be something else, and that is listening. And to be able to listen, and I don't mean the listening with the ears, but a total receptivity to whatever is there, um, one should, in a way, be empty of information, empty of wanting, empty of longing, empty of thoughts, to be really able to listen. So the listening asks for an open space, and to be in this open space already is so nourishing. It's so extremely nourishing. It is totally in the moment, and if you're not busy with any information, your sensitivity will grow. Your clarity will grow. You don't have to do a thing, you're just there listening with all your attention without it being an action. It's more a state of being. And then the other thing which is very much important in the way I like to relate with people is that there's full attention. And the full attention and the listening in a way go together because listening is attention, but then the attention without a subject. So if I start relating with another being or with the world, with this inner state of being, and the other individual is willing to do the same, we get a very, very deep connection. In which the connection has more importance than the words which might be spoken, than the subject which may be there. So if we can give each other and ourselves in the same time this listening space, it's just incredible what can happen. And what I like very much about it, it can only happen in the now. So you can't project it in the future. You can't say in the past I was this and that is not interesting. What is now is interesting. And um, if you're not together with another and you are in this listening state, it becomes meditation. And there's this deep, deep silence which has no end. And in this silence, well, it's difficult with words, but if I am myself in this deep state, the silence and the love, very much unpersonal love, is one. So it's nourishing on a very deep level, and it is recognizing the deep, unnameable being that you are. And what impresses me very much about this is that whenever it's there, it's always new. You can't say, I was here before. No, you are here now, or you are not there. But if you are there, it's new. It's, it brings you without words. Yes.
It's beautiful. Yeah, this is also one of the foundations of the work I share in the retreats, is to invite oneself and friends to enter into this space of deep listening, a listening which is total openness. There are no borders in it. There is no expectation in it. There is no motive in it. It is a space which is free from the ego mind. So as I was listening to what you were sharing, I could see that there were hardly any thoughts. If some thoughts were coming, they are just arising and disappearing.
Mm,
So it's the magic or miracle of this listening space. It is so vast that the ego mind subsides in
yes.
it.
Yes.
And somehow it is a space of unconditional love. It's a bridge where all separation ends. Because I feel that the cause of suffering is this arising of the ego mind.
Yeah.
And the ego mind arises from the activity of thoughts. So whenever we are living from this energy of the old mind, which is the activity of thought. And it is interesting to note that every thought, every story creates an I, a separate I. And whenever this separate I is created, which is a construct of thought, there is a separation from the whole, from the wholeness of life, from other living beings. And whenever there is separation, there is fear, there is suffering. So living from this energy of the mind, which is the energy of the baggage, the past baggage, is inviting suffering in our life. So the invitation is, can we activate the energy of presence? And this energy of presence can be activated here and now. Deep listening could be one door, pure observation could be another door, or unconditional love, which is here and now.
Yes.
So the question is, what is that wisdom inside us which is able to see the danger of activating the energy of the ego mind?
Yes. And
Because unless,
that
yeah,
asks for a great awareness, right? And a real awareness. And if this deep awareness is there, ego mind gets no place. I think one of the dangers is for yourself, but the other danger is you put other people who are not really very conscious yet also in danger, because with your images, you can um, bring them also in this feeling of separation or in this feeling of I should be something. and you have this image of the person and you don't relate to the real being anymore, but to the image you made of the other being,
mm,
which I think is just as sad as you do it to yourself, you also do it to others.
mm. Yes,
So you
absolutely.
spread the thinking um, as an identification instead of that it can be a tool, but it's a very
Mm.
dangerous tool. Yeah.
To use this tool of the thought or of the mind wisely. So, and perhaps this living presence can give thinking its right place, reasoning its right place, so that we don't become a slave to our own thoughts, the projections of the mind, but rather use it mindfully and to really see that the this old energy of the mind is is not required everywhere in our relationships, in living life fully, joyfully. It becomes a great hindrance, and there is no real security in it because uh, this mind is showing this illusion of security in the relationship, in our life, but it cannot give any security. To see this clearly,
Mm,
isn't it?
yes.
So,
Yeah.
what will uh, activate this living energy of presence, which which is not interfered by the mind, which is essentially a state of freedom, inner freedom?
Yes.
Can it be activated through any activity of the mind?
You cannot enter it through the mind. You cannot arrive in being with the mind.
Yes.
The mind is not part of being. The mind is things, and the being is space, free space. There's one interesting portal to presence, which I like very much because it's very simple. Um, Many people, one of the reasons that the mind becomes so big in their lives, of course, is insecurity. You called this before, but also they are not present in their bodies.
Mm,
And to be present in your body asks a full awareness. So, in a way, you don't connect through, let's say, not to the bones and the tissues, but you connect to the energy field, which your body is. And your body is intelligent,
mm,
not intelligent like the mind, but the body is always in truth. So, if you connect to your body and you're fully present in your body, you can't be thinking at the same time. That's why I developed in my retreat that before we go into meditation or into reflection, I very often guide them in Qigong. It's a Chinese, very simple exercises, but you need all your attention to be totally in the body. So the mind has no subjects, and the body becomes one being. You are one being, but you're going to experience that you're one being. And if you, from this state of a full presence in the body, start meditating or start reflecting like we are doing now, then um, the mind will be very quiet. Maybe in the background sometimes, some, but um, in this busy life, when people are arranging, acting from their minds, they forget the value of this. What I find very interesting is this body is very temporarily, it's part of time, the shape is part of time, but the presence in this body is timeless. So through this body, who's never always never the same because it's always changing, but to be really in there is also connecting to the timeless in a very simple way.
Yes. This is beautiful what you said, that this presence is timeless. So it is here and now, and it can permeate, or it is permeating everything, including the cells of our bodies. So can there be a presence? Opening to this presence through senses, through whatever action we are doing, then this portal is always accessible. It's here and now. Then we
It's
are not touching this old field of the mind or the me.
it's very nice what you say, that this timeless presence is in everything. And if there's the awareness that it is in everything, you will also have deep respect for everything. There will be an inner, almost an inner nobility in how you relate not only to people, but to all beings, be it animals, be it trees, be it an interior or of a room. Um, there will be respect because there's no difference between the inner field of that which seems to be outside you and the inner field which is here. And if that would be recognized, extreme lot of problems would dissolve because they exist by the definitions of differences, which in fact is only in form and not in the inner being. Yeah.
Yes. So to realize that this timeless presence, which is ever present, and whatever this presence is touching, whether this body or anybody else's presence or any object, so there is a great sensitivity. So
Yes.
it is like divinity is touching everything. So I don't take anything for granted. Whatever is present in life, whether visible or invisible, there is a great uh, dignity, great respect for that. And then there cannot be a question of violence in life or
No.
any war, because this timeless energy, whether we call it divinity or the unnameable, it has no separation.
No. And it also brings gratitude,
Yeah.
the enormous gratitude that there's life gives you endless possibilities to relate. And in
Yeah.
every relation, there can be growth of being, there can be growth of consciousness, there can be growth of living love, not only as an abstraction, but really live it.
Absolutely.
I feel every day as an invitation, and I feel real
Mm.
deep gratitude for all the invitations which are in my life to be, to learn, to explore.
Yeah. Yes. Immense gratitude, uh, and not only for what look as gifts of life, but also gratitude for the challenges,
Yes,
the
sure.
suffering we face in life, or pain. Sometimes we want to run away from these challenging situations, but that every challenge is a teacher, is inviting us to open the doors of our hearts or doors of the presence and meet that in presence.
Yes,
Yeah. Then everything is a teacher, a teaching.
it
It is
is.
not confined to any books or any verbal structure of a teaching. Yeah, then life is a wonderful journey, which
Yeah,
is not from one point to another, but in this living moment,
yes.
without any specific destination.
And the challenge also asks me to even a deeper listening. What is requested here? Can I awaken in a very alert state? What is needed? Or is it only needed that I keep on listening, although I'm challenged? So to stay out of my mind when there's a challenge is more difficult because my mind wants to solve the challenge. But if I have no aim to solve the challenge, but to be with the challenge, to relate to the challenge, to listen to the challenge, what is going to happen? And not wanting to predict that and not to name it, but to find out. Then maybe I will not call the challenge a challenge anymore, but maybe it's a new friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, what the mind is calling a challenge, it is the resistance of the mind itself. For presence, nothing is a challenge because in presence there is no a sense of duality and opposition. But mind perceives things which are not pleasant as challenge because there is a resistance. So the only way to meet it is to see from presence that can all the efforts of the mind are dropped immediately, instantly. So to let go of all the narratives of the mind in the now, any story that mind is carrying, any expectation, any goal, yeah, simply it's like dropping what is not at all necessary, which is non-essential, seeing the falseness of it, not carrying the burden. So to accumulate the burden through this portal of the mind takes lot of time, lot of effort, stress, but to drop it, it doesn't take any effort. So it can be done instantly if there is a deep listening to this presence, which is here and now.
Yes.
So this work is extremely simple, but for mind, it looks like it's very complex. But the invitation is extraordinarily simple.
Yes.
Just be here and now and let go of which is already dead, which is really false, to see it from this presence.
And knowing that if you let go,
Yeah,
you are in truth.
yeah,
When you're fighting, you're not in truth.
yeah,
So the letting go of the fighting
yeah,
and being aware of which emerges is a tremendous gift. But the ego says we have to fight. We might lose. We might win. But there's no connection with the true being.
yeah,
And there's the challenge is always in the circumstances. And the circumstances are, in a way, just a vision of the mind. Whether the circumstances are described as good or as bad is a mind thing. So if the circumstances are just there and you're still connected with this deep open space with which we started, and there's this immense, vast space, then circumstances have no meaning. Then that you act accordingly, but it doesn't interfere with this deep space. And then you can be peace amongst whatever is going on. And you can be a beacon of trust for those who seem to be part of the circumstances.
This is really interesting that to discover mind is making effort, struggling, fighting, because it wants to control. So this control is the very basis of this mind, and this effort to control is arising from lack of clarity. So when there is no clarity, I want to control everything. I want to control myself. I want to control circumstances, the whole world. And it's a huge ignorance, which is rooted in lack of clarity, lack of awareness. So this presence is clarity, to see clearly that whatever mind is trying to do, it will bring more complexity. It will bring more smoke. So just not to touch it. So what is that wisdom which is here and now, which says not to touch this instrument of the mind in order to embrace life, in order to live fully now in every relationship. So I feel that that wisdom is this presence, which is there in each one of us, which can see instantly, not to touch this instrument of the mind, the I, or the past, in order to meet life, in order to meet yourself, your essence here now.
Yes. Thank you so much for this sharing, Mukesh.
Thank you, Elisabeth. And the sharing is also happening from a space of stillness.
Yes, it is.
So let us continue to live from this space of stillness, from love, from presence. Thank you very much, Elisabeth.
Thank you very much, Mukesh.